Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. So, in this class, we'll study about the specifications and constructions of waterbound macadam, that is WBM, what we can call. So, waterbound macadam, which is a dense and compacted course of a road pavement that is composed of the stone aggregates, which is held together by a film that consisting of a gravel or screening with a minimum amount of water content. So, here we will study the different specifications with respect to the materials, that is the basic materials such as coarse aggregates what we are going to use in this waterbound macadam. So it can be either crushed or broken stone, or even it can be crushed slag also, right? So over the burnt brick aggregates or naturally occurring aggregates such as concur and laterite content. So here these above aggregates such as crushed slag and oven burnt bricks and naturally occurring aggregates like concur and laterite. So these aggregates it should confirm the physical requirements which is given in the particular table. And if the water absorption is greater than the 2%, and again we need to conduct the soundness test from the laboratory. So here the aggregates whatever we are going to use in the waterbound macadam pavement, so that Los Angeles abrasion value that it should conform with IS 2386, and maximum requirement will be 40%. So after conducting that Los Angeles abrasion test in the laboratory by taking these aggregate samples, so maximum it should be 40%. And similarly the aggregate impact value as per the Indian Standard Code Book, that is IS 5640, it should get maximum 30% and not more than that. And combined flakiness and elongation indices, so especially these properties are described with the shape of the aggregates, such as it should be angular, it should be flaky, such that the better interlocking property between one aggregate to other aggregates can be achieved. So this confirms with IS 2386, and maximum 30% can be acceptable in the part of test considerations, right? And here the which are the different aggregates what we have said, that is a crushed slag. So this crushed slag which is made up of from the air cooled blast furnace slag, and here whatever you can see in the diagram, so this is the air cooled blast furnace slag. So this is made up of from the air cooled blast furnace slag, and it should be angular shape and reasonably uniform in quality as well as the density. So here the weight of the crushed slag, it shall not be less than 11.2 kilonewton per meter cube, and the percentage of glossy material that shall not be more than 20%, right? And here water absorption it should not be more than 10%, and the sulfur content it should not be exceeds 2% in this crushed slag. Okay. And the materials, if we are using a crushed or broken stone, right? So here this crushed or broken stones, it should be hard, and it should be durable enough to resist all the loads coming from these aggregates, and it should be free from excess flat and elongated soft and disintegrated particles, and even it should be free from dirt and other deleterious materials. Okay. And next, if we are using overburnt or overburnt brick aggregates, so here what you can see, the overburnt brick aggregates, so it should be made from the overburnt bricks or the brick bats, and it is free from dust and other deleterious material. And here the grading requirements of these coarse aggregates, so the coarse aggregate shall conform to one of the grading given in the table. So that is, you can refer this table for the grading purpose of these above said aggregates. Okay. And here, so this shows the grading 1, grading 2, grading 3, three different grades are there. So this is belongs to only for sub base. Okay. And in this table you can see they have given the grading 1, the first column, and that grading ranges from 90 mm to 45 mm, and here the ISC designations also they have given for various gradings. That is for grade 1, you can refer the first row details, that is grading 1 size and range will be 90 mm to 45 mm, and then the ISC designations, that is 125 mm, 90 mm, 63 mm, 45 mm, and 22.4 mm. So when we have used this ISFs, that percentage by weight, it should becomes with this percentage, that is for 125 mm it is 100, and for 90 mm it is 90 to 100%, and for 63 mm it is 25 to 60, and similarly for 45 0 to 15%, and for ISF 22.4 mm it will be 0.5%. Okay, so they have given like that for other grades also. So in out of this, whatever the aggregates we are using, so those aggregates it should confirming any one of these gradings, and as per that the further details will get depends. And here the compacted thickness for the layer with the grading 1, it shall be 100 mm, while for the layer with the other grading 2 and 3 should be 75 mm. As I told, this particular grades will be having the different thickness. Okay, so for grading 1 it will be 100 mm thickness, whereas for grading 2 and grading 3 it will be with 75 mm. Okay, and moving to the next part, that is screening. The first part, what it is, we need to select the materials first, right? So we need to take the materials under a specified conditions as per this table and as per the certain values whatever we have discussed. So such materials we need to consider, and after selecting the materials we'll go for the screening process. So this screening process or screening procedure, so which is much helpful in the filling the voids formation. So basically in the aggregates we have conducted the angularity test, and as per the test procedure, in a particular cylinder the aggregate space in the particular cylinder will be consisting of, if consisting of 67% of the solids, and remaining 33% will be the voids, right? So that 33% of the voids whatever we have got from the IS codes, that 33% it can be filled by this screening process. Okay, and this screening process which consists of the same material as the coarse aggregate. Okay, the same materials we can use just to fill up those voids, and in some cases the non-plastic materials like muram or gravel is used to provide the liquid limit and plasticity index are 20 and 6% respectively, and here we need to use those materials which can be filled within the aggregates gap, right? I mean the which can fill the voids between the aggregates. So that one it can be done by using the moram, or even we can use the gravel, but make sure that it should be having the liquid limit, that is 20%, and plasticity index, that is 6%. Okay, and here the fraction passing 75 micron sieves does not exceed the 10% of these values. Okay, and the screening should be conform to the grading serial which is given in the below. So even for the screening also we are having the standard procedures and the specifications table, so that screening it should be done as per the table, and here you can refer the table here, right? So the screening materials what we are going to use, so it should be having this particular standard. So here again the grading classifications have described in the name of grading A and grading B for the screening materials. So grading 1, grading 2, grading 3, which are the material specifications used in the main constructions part, right? So I mean the top layers whatever we are going to place, and here this grading classifications for screening, that is described as grading A as well as grading B. And here the size of the screening will be 13.2 mm for grade A, and size of the screening will be 11.2 mm for grading B. Okay, and for grading A, the first row part, the size of the screening is 13.2 mm, and below that the 11.2 mm will be there, and then 5.6 mm, and then 180 microns. So if we are using the materials that is specifying or matching with the grading A, so our materials, it should be having the percentage by weight of the passing, the Indian standard sieve, that is for 13.2 mm, the percentage by weight of the passing will be 100%, and for 11.2 mm sieve it will be 95 to 100%, and for 5.6 mm it is 15 to 35%, and for 180 microns it will be 0 to 10%. Okay, and if we are getting the C1 lysis values in this way, I mean in this particular range, then we can conclude that the screening material stands for grading classification A, right? So the same thing, if the soil, I mean whatever the grading screening material we have used, if that material percentage by weight passing after the C1 lysis are matching with this percentage respectively with these sieves, that is 11.2, 5.6 and 180 microns for 100, 90 to 100 and then 15 to 35. So that time we can confirm that our screening materials are belongs to the grading classifications B. So this is a standard table, that the standard grading table for screening the materials. And then after the screening process, we are going to use the binding materials in the construction. Okay, so it is used as a filler material for waterbound macadam, which is having the plasticity index value less than 6, and the quantity for binding material to be used depends upon the type of screening. So how much quantity we need to be used, that is purely dependent upon the types of the different screening. So generally the quantity required for 75 mm compacted thickness. So as we have discussed in the first table, that is selection of the material. So grading 1 it stand for 100 mm thickness, and for grading 2 and grading 3 it is for 75 mm thickness. Okay, so here the grading quantity, I mean the quantity which is required for a 75 mm thickness compacted thickness, it will be with 0.06 to 0.09 meter cube for every 10 meter square, and similarly for 100 mm compacted thickness it will be around 0.08 to 0.10 meter cube per every 10 meter square. So such binding materials we need to use under these specifications. And moving to the next part, that is construction operation, right? So first case is, I mean first construction process is preparation of base. Okay, and here the surface of subgrade or subbase to receive that waterbound macadam course, it shall be prepared to a specified lines and crossfall which is made free of dust and other materials. So here it's nothing but what, so where exactly we need to place this base for the waterbound macadam. So first we need to place the line out, and then we need to place the materials, and before placing the materials on top of that place, that original place, it should be free from all the deleterious materials and even other foreign materials too. And leveling the course is done, I mean the leveling course is used to correct the irregularities in the profile. So here we need to level those particular courses such that it should be flat enough, or as per the drawing designs we need to maintain the corrections in the irregularity in the profile conditions. And then the laying of this waterbound macadam, that is WBM, over the thick bituminous layer is avoided. So here, so whatever we are placing the WBM, right? So that too by using the bituminous layer, which have to be avoided due to an internal drainage of the pavement at the interface of two courses. So between these two courses, I mean the two different layers, that is WBM as well as the bituminous layer. So if a thick bituminous layer which is placed, and on top of that if we are placing the bituminous layer, we need to avoid that cases, because there will be a problem in the internal drainage of the pavement between these two layers. And then where the intensity of the rain is very low, where there will be a less rainy season, so during such places The interface drainage facility is efficient for WBM and it can be laid over the existing thin bituminous surface by cutting 50 mm by 50 mm furrows. So here you can see the furrows. So furrows is nothing but what? So it is a preparation of the soil, that is a narrow trench which is made specially in the ground. So these trenches which will be having an angle of 45 degree to the center line at 1 meter interval. So like that we can provide those bituminous surfaces in this way. Next, the second part, that is inverted choke. So inverted choke, it's nothing but if the waterbound macadam is to be laid directly over the subgrade, so that is without any other intervening pavement course, that time a 25 course of screening, that is specially selected from grading B or coarse sand, it shall be spread on the prepared subgrade before application of the aggregates is taken up. Okay, so in case of the fine sand or silty or clayly subgrade, so it is advisable to lay 100 screening or coarse sand on top of the fine grained soil. And again, as an alternative to the inverted choke, if we are not following this inverted choke after the preparation of the base, we can even provide the geosynthesis which is used after the subgrade. Okay, so here you can see the geosynthesis layer, so it is going to provide soon after that subgrade, right? So this is the geosynthesis layer. Soon after the subgrade it is going to provide, and later this WM layer has to be comes, because so it geosynthesis layer, it provides the better drainage property over the prepared subgrade, so it is not going to be provide much harmful with the effect of the waterlogging conditions in the layers. So if continuous waterlogging conditions, I mean the placings are there in the subgrade, so easily it is going to be loses its property. So to avoid that, we need to provide the proper drainage systems between these two layers, that is waterbound macadam layer as well as this subgrade. So we are placing the geosynthesis so that it can provide the better drainage system for these two layers. Next, that is spreading of coarse aggregates. So after preparation, after placing the geosynthesis or else after providing the inverted choke process, next process will be the spreading of coarse aggregate. So now the coarse aggregate shall be spread uniformly and evenly upon the prepared subgrade in a thickness not more than 100 for grading 1 and 70 for grading 2 and grading 3. So here depends upon the grades, the thickness of the aggregates layers will be get depends, that is as we have studied in the specifications of the material in the first part. So grading 1 aggregates, for grading 1 aggregates it will be 100 thickness, and for grading 2 and grading 3 it will be with 75 okay, and the spreading shall be done from stockpiles along the sides of the roadway and or directly from the vehicle. So stockpiles in the sense you have seen a bunch of aggregates or else part of aggregates have been placed on with a different intervals in the road constructions. So it's like what the stockpiles just beside the road surfaces they have placed so that they can be used in that road constructions in a even layers. Okay, or no segregations between the aggregates is allowed, and it must be uniform gradations with the no fine material. And here the surface of the aggregate shall be checked carefully by removing or adding aggregates at high or low spots, and it is checked with the straight edges. So here the aggregates whatever you are going to use, so just by the visual inspections you can be checked that one, right? So it should be with the straight edges. Okay, and here the coarse aggregate should not normally spread more than 3 days. So once if you have placed the aggregate layers, so that is as per the specifications. For grading 1 it is 100 and for grading 2 and grading 3 will be 75 so after placing this particular thickness we should not wait more than 3 days. So whatever the next procedure part is there, we need to carry out those procedure part within 3 days. Okay, and after placing the aggregates and spreading the coarse aggregates, the rolling part will come. And here the rolling is started immediately after spreading by three wheeled power rollers or tandem or vibratory rollers, which will be having 80 to 100 kilonewton static weight. So depends upon the thickness. I mean, these rollers have been used. So here basically to compact this aggregate layer, they have used the three-wheeled power rollers or even the tandem or vibratory rollers, but it should be having the capacity of 80 to 100 kilonewton static weight. So except on the super elevation portions where the rolling will be proceed from inner edge to the outer edge. So the exact procedure they have given in the rolling part, so it should be follows like it should be from inner edge to the outer edge, and it begins from the edges gradually that progressing towards the center. So it should not be like only at the center we need to go for the more compactions and all, but we need to go for the equal compactions in every layer part of that waterbound macadam. And during rolling part, the slight sprinkling of the water may be done if it is necessary. So only in some cases, if you require any some water contents, we can add that so that we can achieve the maximum dry density there, or else easily that aggregates can be get in a better binding state. Okay, and here the rolling is done when the subgrade is soft, or rolling is not done when the subgrade is soft or yielding, or when it causes a wave like motions in the subgrade or subbase cores. So here when you start rolling, so it should be in a flat form. I mean, after the rolling it should be in a flat form, because when it start moving like a motion, I mean it's just like a wave motion, so that there will be a no bonding between the aggregates. I mean whatever the interlocking property we can say, so that property we can't achieve in those aggregate samples. So that time we are not supposed to do the rolling part. So here the rolled surface, it shall be checked transversely and longitudinally with the templates and corrected or re-rolled to the derived camber and grade. So here material setting crust during the compaction, it should be removed and replaced, and the shoulders are built up simultaneously along with the WBM courses. And the basic applications of the screenings here. So after the coarse aggregate has rolled, the screenings are applied to fill the voids. So after placing the aggregates here, right, so first we'll prepare the subgrade and then we place the geosynthesis layer if it is required to provide the better drainage system, and then we'll place the aggregates. Okay, so these aggregates now have to be filled by the screening. I mean we need to avoid or remove the voids between the aggregates, so the screening part will come. So after the coarse aggregate has been rolled, the screenings have been applied to fill the voids, and here there should not be any damp or wet at the time of applications of this screening. So when you are placing this screening material on top of this aggregate layers, so this screening material, it should not be with any moisture content, as well as it should not be with any dampness within the material specification. So this dry rolling has to be followed while the screenings are belong to spread the, so that it will cause, I mean it will reduces the number of voids. And next, the construction operations. So here the screenings are spread uniformly in thin layers by hand shovels. So here whatever the screening materials you can see here, right, so the screening materials we can be spread that one by using the hand shovels, or else even we can use the mechanical spreaders also. So if the work is less, we can use this manual mode of spreading the screening materials just by using this hand shovels, or else if material is more and the quantity of the work will be more, that time we can use this mechanical spreaders, where that screening material has to be spreaded equally on top of that aggregate layer. Next, the screening is applied at a slow and uniform rate so as to ensure filling of voids, which is accompanied by the dry rolling and the brooming with a mechanical or broomed, or with a both. So here we need to achieve the dry rolling process such that it should be with easily filled within the aggregate particles, I mean just on the surface of the aggregate, such that the number of voids can be reduced, and these operations shall continue until no more screenings that fills the voids of the aggregate, and the spreading, rolling and brooming of the screenings could be completed within one day. Next, after spreading the screening material, sprinkling of water and grouting. So after the screenings are applied, the surface should be sprinkled with the water, swept and rolled. So after placing this, providing this water on top of that layer, it should be, I mean that whatever the spreaded water is there, it should be uniformly distributed to that entire layer of the screening. And here we can use the hand brooms and other instruments just to use to sweep and distribute the wet screenings evenly on every part of the screenings. And here it is continued until the coarse aggregate has been thoroughly keyed. I mean those coarse aggregates has to mix up with this binding material such as screening by using this water sprinklers. And general applications of this binding material. So here after screening, I mean the after screening process, we are going to add the water, and then we'll place the binding materials. So here first what we are going to do, the general application of screening, I mean the after the application of the screening, the binding material which is applied in two or more thin layers at slow and uniform rate. So here after the screening layer, so this binding material has to be placed, so that too in two layers. And here after each layer, that application of water is sprinkled and swept with brooms to fill the voids and rolled. Okay, so here after adding the water on every level, I mean the every layer, there will be two layers of the binding materials we are going to place here. So every layer has to be spread with the, I mean sprinkled with the water, and then it has to be rolled. Okay, and then this is continued till a wave that is head of the wheels of the moving roller is confirmed on slurry. So till to get this position, we need to compact that one such that it will be shows that the well compactions within the structure. And setting and drying process, that is after the final compaction, the WBM course of the WBM course, the pavement is allowed to dry overnight. So after the getting the slurry parts in the wave like structure, so we need to keep that one for one day just to get dry off. And next morning, if any spots are there, that one it can be filled with screening or binding materials, and lightly sprinkled with the water and rolled, because of the plasticity index and liquid limit and shrinkage limit. So if any spots or if any gaps have been found within the layer, so that can be again filled by the screening materials. Again we can add the water, I mean again we can sprinkle the water, and then we can roll that. And no traffic shall be allowed on the road until the macadam has to be set. Okay, so until the that layer of the waterborne macadam has to be set, so we are not supposed to allow any traffics on that road. And here the compacted WBM core should be allowed to completely dry and set before the next pavement course is laid over it. And here the quality control test on waterborne macadam course. So here the aggregate impact value, we need to conduct the test I mean one test for every 200 meter cube of the aggregates, and this grading can be done. I mean the C1 lesses. We are going to find out grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So that test we can be conduct for every 100 meter cube, and the flakiness indexes and elongation indexes, that is one test per 200 meter cube, and the Atterberg limits of binding materials, that is for one test for 325 meter cube of the binding material. And here the evaluation of dry density results and acceptance criteria for compaction control, that shall be on lines which is similar to those subgrade and embankment whatever we have discussed in the previous class. Okay, and here we'll watch a small video that how exactly they are going to place, how exactly they are going to construct the waterborne macadam in just one video clip. So initially, after the preparation of the subgrade, they have placed the aggregate layers here, right? So these aggregates have to be leveled with a plane surface. I mean evenly they have to be spread these aggregates. And later, after spreading these aggregates, this compaction have to be done. Okay, so after this compactions have to be done such that here as per the conditions no wave motions of the aggregates have to be placed, because when you have used the better interlocking property of the aggregate, so you can get the surfaces like this in a plane way. Okay, I mean in a flat way. And here you can see the motion of the roller here, so it is not crossing more than 5 kilometer per hour speed. Okay, so only within 5 kilometer per hour it is moving, so that these rollers whatever it is you can see here, so within that particular time it is going to be provide a well compacted grade within the aggregate part. And later we need to sprinkle the water on top of this layer so that evenly it should be reaches to the all the levels of the aggregates, right, from top to bottom of those particular given thickness. And after this water sprinkler, again we can see the other parts, that is the screening materials, compaction, and then the spot holes whatever if it is found, again we need to refill that one with the sprinkles and adding the binding materials on these layers, and then the compaction, so that we should get the maximum dry density here. And then we are exposing that one to the traffic, so after complete set of that waterborne macadam layer. Thank you.